Hi, in this video we're going to walk through the syllabus, just hitting some of the highlights. You've got the copy so you can read it in detail, and you should, but let's kind of hit some of the key points that I wanted to note about the course and the policies and requirements. So kind of to start with, I've highlighted some here in yellow. The email is the best way to get hold of me. craig.mason@maine.edu. I'm always on email. I get a lot of emails every day, well over 100. So if I don't get back to you within a day or two, please email me again. Once it falls below that list of 50 or so in Gmail, it may take a while to resurface. It's nothing personal. I'm just a very, very busy guy. So if you don't hear from me in a day or two, email me again. I'm not somebody who's bothered by that. So email me if you need to get hold of me. You can also email. For our course, we're really going to focus on multiple regression. At the end of the semester, we'll touch briefly on what's called logistic regression and hierarchical linear modeling. We'll explain what those are later. We're not going to cover either of those to the degree that you would be able to actually do those analyses. That's a whole separate course. But to kind of introduce you to kind of the next step and the types of questions that you can answer once you've got this base knowledge down using more advanced techniques. So let's keep scrolling through here. Student learning objectives, that's great. The course structure, as you hopefully know, we are an asynchronous online course that we're built around videos. Lots and lots of videos, plus the readings, and I hold live office hours on Zoom. Now there are no live lectures that you go to throughout the week. It's asynchronous, so just watch the videos, and again, there could be a lot of videos. Now, students will often ask, should I watch the video before the reading or do the reading and then watch the videos? And I originally designed the class around the idea you would do the readings and then watch the videos. But over the years, I've had numerous students tell me they find the other way works better for them. They like to watch the video and then read the material. They feel the videos kind of help them then to read at times kind of dense and complex material. I will leave that up to you which way to go, but I just wanted to point that out because the students do seem to like the videos. They or find them helpful to understand the material. Whichever approach works best for you. But again, at least more than a few students seem to be reporting they like the videos and then the text. Now the format for those video lectures is there'll be, some of them are one-to-one like this, some of them are me in the brand new Lightboard studio that the college has. You'll see that later on. Others are recordings of live classrooms sections where I taught the course live and recorded the each class. Again, if you see one of those ones that come up and it's a live class, you didn't miss anything. It's just from a previous year that I'm now reusing to cover some of the material. Now with the slides, or at least most of the slides, with the lectures, there are, or at least most of the lectures and the videos, there are slides. And you'll see that once you go into Brightspace. I've got copies of slides for most of them that kind of just start going right along with the videos. These slides, students report, the slides are extremely helpful. It took an awful lot of work. It's a crazy amount of work I put into making these. And I view them as kind of detailed lecture notes for you to use. So I cannot underestimate the importance of using those slides. I strongly, strongly, strongly encourage you, print them off before you watch the video. Watch the video with it in front of you, write the notes, write your comments. If a question comes up that you want to email me about or post on Brightspace to the group, Write it down on the slides. Use them as your detailed lecture notes. Seriously, I cannot underestimate that. You'll notice with the slides and the handouts, the video, the numbers of the slides on the video and the numbers for the slides on the handouts may not be the same. There may be like jumps at times, or they just won't line up, and that's because I've got literally thousands of slides, and I organize them all in single PowerPoint files for different content, with both the handout version and the lecture version, and now also a Lightboard Studio version, all in the same document. So kind of depending on, are you looking at the slides? Are you watching a lecture? The numbers may be a little different. That's all. You're not missing anything. It's just kind of an organizational way for me to make sure that everything lines up when I'm giving you the material. So don't worry about that. You may notice a jump at times, an inordinate jump at times, and that's because there may be material that's in my packet of slides that we're just not covering. But I've kept it for some extra material, or if someone asks specific questions, I've kind of got material prepared for those. So again, don't worry if the numbers get off a little bit. Just follow them based on the content and the visual display. The readings, our book is Keith, Multiple Regression and Beyond, 3rd edition. Get the 3rd edition because it has an extra chapter that we're covering. We cover about the first half of the book. You'll notice we don't go into most of the second half of the book. That's a different course on structural equation modeling that I offer from time to time. We'll talk about that later on in the semester when we get into path analysis. So definitely get the book. It is a great book. You may at times you may want to curse it. It may seem intimidating, but trust me, I've used lots of books over the years. This is a great book. We're an asynchronous online course, and we use Brightspace all the time. You have to be using Brightspace. Your work is going to be submitted in Brightspace. The links to the videos are all in Brightspace. So you'll use Brightspace. You're going to need to be comfortable with that. And I've got a different video on Brightspace, so we won't cover that here. The assignments, there are 6 homework assignments and 3 assignments that are called result write-up assignments. Now the numbers have changed. If you have a version of a draft version of the syllabus I sent a couple weeks ago, I know there were more homework assignments, but I've scaled things down. Isn't that nice? I've reduced a couple of them. So the numbers have dropped. Now we're down to 6. Each is worth 100 points, so it's a 900 points total that you can earn in the course. The the 6 homework assignments are kind of your general, what you would expect. It's substantive questions, conceptual questions to check. Do you understand what we're talking about? Do you understand some of the issues or how to interpret stuff? It may involve some hand calculations, but nothing like what we did in intro stats, where I gave you the raw data and you had to calculate T's and F's and all. Nope. There may be some simple calculations based on output to help you understand how everything is connected, but nowhere near the hand calculations that we did in 573. Maybe some multiple choice sort of questions, kind of conceptual understanding things. And then the 3 result write-up assignments are different. They go along in parallel, and at the end of the semester we kind of alternate between the 2. And the idea with this is you'll start with just a output, as if you ran an analysis, and this sea of numbers. What the heck does all this mean? And we're going to learn then to how do you go from that to actually writing it up, the narrative. As you're writing your thesis, that you're going to, I did blah, 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 blah. So you'll end with actually writing up the results, just as if it's your thesis, your dissertation, or a paper, that you'll be ready to kind of walk out of here and know kind of how to format, how to structure, and how to frame in your narrative of what you're finding in the results and how to interpret that. So it's pretty cool. Very practical in that sense. It's for the assignments, you can always assume that the standard assumptions, normality, and alpha level of 0.05, everything's the same, unless I, for some reason, tell you otherwise. This is important. Carry your calculations to at least 3 decimal places, or 3 digits, or at least 3 digits if you're less than 1, if the absolute value is less than 1. So if it's 0.000000123, do not round it to 0. If it's 0.00123, don't round it to 0.001. Keep the whole thing. Always have at least 3 digits that aren't just leading zeros. If you round it too much, you're going to get the answers wrong, and you'll lose points. And that's really painful when it's like, oh, I just rounded too much. But there's consequences if we round too much. Bridges fall, buildings collapse. I've got some examples of these. But kids also get bad interventions, so don't round too much. Pay attention to that. Because of that, I would really encourage you, just do the calculations in Excel. In Excel, you can type in the calculations, you can get the result. It's unrounded, and then you can use that value automatically, plug it into the next equation to then keep doing any calculations without using any rounding until the very end. That's the safest, cleanest way, and it helps avoid flipping the numbers around when you're kind of doing it on the calculator, writing it down, going back, writing it down, looking, writing it down, copy. That's how you make mistakes, and they'll all add up in the end in the grades. So I'd strongly encourage you to do them in Excel if you're comfortable doing that. Grading, again, there's 6 homework assignments, 3 result write-ups, 900 points total. All assignments have to be completed by 11:59 p.m. on the due date. That's not, I'm not kidding. That's how it's programmed in Brightspace. If you turn it in at 12 o'clock, the next morning, 1 minute late, it's flagged as late. That's the wonders of technology. It does that. So definitely, I've seen that happen. It's painful. Don't wait till the last minute to submit things, or else you will lose 10 points for every day or partial day it's late. It's 1 minute late, it's still 10 points. Now, because of this, or kind of reflecting this, why am I so, I have built in, one of the things I've done with this course is, and you'll see it when you look at the syllabus, the due dates, there's a big, I've given you plenty of time to finish the assignments, plenty of time. We finish the material, and then it might be a couple weeks before the assignment's due. That's on purpose, because I don't want you trying to submit it at 11 o'clock the day it's due. You should submit it, once we finish that content, and I'll tell you, you're ready to do assignment 3, you should do assignment 3 within the next week. Don't wait till the last minute. One of the things we're going to talk about in just a minute is you'll lose the chance to redo the assignment if you want to improve your grade. Wouldn't that be nice? Don't wait till the last minute. It also helps to avoid the question of, well, what is an appropriate reason that someone can turn it in late without getting penalized? So what I've done is, instead of getting into your reasons, okay, but you're going to have to lose 10 points, but you're not. No, I pushed the dates back, so everybody has basically an extra week. For every assignment, what I would normally make the due date, I pushed it back enough, everybody gets extra time for any reason. And I mean any reason. Travel, illness, weddings, funerals, honeymoons, births, I'm giving you the time. So if something comes up and you're saying, oh, I know it's a little late, but I really don't want to lose those 10 points. Can you make an exception? My response is, that's why you should have turned it in a week ago. So don't fall into that trap. Don't fall into that trap. Turn it in early. Because if it's a technology problem, if your computer dies, if the campus network is down, doesn't matter. My response is, that's why you should have turned it in a week earlier. So do that. The turning in things late or just missing assignments is the #1 reason, I think, for students not getting a passing grade for this course. Don't fall into that trap. Now, Another reason, kind of why do you want to turn stuff in early, is or don't wait till it's really kind of on time, but don't wait till the last minute, is you can redo assignments to improve your grade on an assignment. Isn't that great? You can redo the assignments. Now, there is a deduction because it's different if if you get 100% on the first submission versus it takes you 3 or 4 tries to get 100%. It's not equivalent. So there is a deduction. But it creates, well, let me explain how it works and you'll see kind of why I like it. The first resubmission you do, you will lose 10 points. So whatever you get, I take an additional 10 points. The second resubmission you submit, so the third time, right? You've resubmitted once, you get you minus 10. You resubmit again, you're still not happy, you resubmit again, you lose 20 points. But after that, you can keep resubmitting and you never lose more than 20 points. So think about it. If you submit it and you get a 60 the first time and then a 75 the second time, you can keep working at it. Email me, get help, come to my Zoom office hours until you get 100%. And then with the 20 points off, it's still an 80. Every assignment, you can always get at least an 80, a B minus. You can always get at least a B minus on every single assignment. All you have to do is give yourself enough time to redo it until you master the material. If you master the material, no matter how long it takes you before the due dates, however, no matter how many tries it takes you, as long as you master the material, you can get a B minus. Everybody passes. Woo. All right? But if you wait to the last minute, you're not going to have that chance. You get the 60, and now you don't have time to resubmit. That's just the way it is. That's why you don't wait till the last minute. Now, students will say, but can my grade go down if I do a resubmission? And years ago, I had some students say, I got a 93, and I'd like to redo it because I want to make sure I've mastered the material, but I don't want my grade to go down 10 points. So it's like, well, of course, yeah, that's a great idea. I love that sort of thinking. Master the material. So that's a great idea. I encourage you to do that if you want. You're not going to improve your grade, but let's say you start with a 93 on the first submission. On your, you submit it, you get a 93. That's great. But you want to redo it, and you see what you got wrong. You then resubmit it and it's the same question. So you just resubmit on the resubmission. You just resubmit it, fix what you got wrong, resubmit it, you get 100. The 100 minus the 10 for the resubmission would be a 90. But what I do is I look at every submission you make once after the due date, because I have to kind of do this. This is completely manual on my part. I look at every submission you make. I figure out what your score is for every submission, and I give you whatever's the highest score. So often it might be the first submission, and someone has just kind of kept working at it till they've mastered the material. But they still get the 93. You don't have to worry about that. Your score will never, ever go down by doing a resubmission. There's no downside to doing it. Okay, I think I've hammered that home enough, but let me know if you've got questions. Now, Brightspace doesn't do those adjustments, the minus 10 or minus 20 on its own. I have to do them by hand after the due date. So keep track of it yourself. You'll need to keep track of how many have I done and what's my real score going to be when Craig cleans up the scores after the due date. Okay. Saying all that, I typically find that about half the class will get an A minus or higher, and probably slightly less than half will get a B in the B range. Around 10% may get a C plus or lower. And again, that's typically because people have waited till the last minute. They're just kind of not staying caught up as we go along. Don't fall into that trap. I think I've said that now 10 times. All assignments have to be put into Brightspace. You'll see that because it's all programmed into Brightspace. If you think that there's a mistake, and it can happen, with the grading, you have a 1 week to email me. Let me know what the exact what the problem was, why you think that it has to be an error on the question the question's worded wrong, or an error in my grading. And that can happen. Particularly some of the calculation is complicated. So let me know if you've caught something, but it has to be a problem with the question or the grading. Just explaining why you got it wrong that's nice. It's great that you understand why you got it wrong, but even if it's I just made a typo. Well, typos have consequences, so you won't get the points. But again, you have a week to do that. Kind of along those thoughts, one more point on the grading is a lot of the grading is automatic. I've put a boatload of work into some of this scoring that it looks at, here's the value you've put, and then it does the calculations and it checks and stuff. So a lot of the assignments, not all of them, but a lot of the assignments, you submit it and you'll immediately know what your grade was. You'll immediately know what you've missed. What I like about that is you get that instant feedback. You don't have to wait and then find out, kind of keep doing things wrong. You can hopefully find out soon, oh, I don't understand this, I've missed that, and kind of learn right away instead of kind of potentially repeating the mistake again. It also gives you plenty of time, more time on the redos than that you're able to see, here's my feedback right now on something. So again, that's why it's in Blackboard, but it was a lot of work, but it's pretty slick to give you that instant feedback. I like the idea of learning from your mistakes, learning from what you missed immediately, and not having to wait several days or a week for me to come back and tell you what you missed. We're going on here. Let's see the collaboration. I think forming study groups is great. Working together on a stats class is great. All I ask is that if someone's stuck, don't just give them the answer. Use it as a learning opportunity for the group or each other to kind of make it a teachable moment and help guide them to what the answer is, rather than just saying the sum of squares is just help them see it, help them learn. Budget your time. Don't wait till the last minute. Set aside time every day, kind of every week. Don't wait. You will find it impossible to catch up if you delay too long. Okay, let's keep going. Other policies. Incomplete's kind of along those lines. An incomplete requires its policy. For an incomplete, you have to be passing the course at the time you want the incomplete. And the incomplete, everything that you've done up to that point goes into your grade. It's only after that you can keep going later. So if you need, and also incomplete, running out of time is not a reason for an incomplete. I'm not happy with my grade is not a reason for an incomplete. Incompletes are because something has come up in your life that prevents you from continuing to pass the course. You have to be passing now, and something's come up, and that happens. I've had it happen where I've given incompletes to students where something big has come up, and and they need to take an incomplete. That's great. We can work out how you'll make it up later. If that happens, or even if you sense that there may be a problem coming, let me know. Let's start talking so we can start that clock and kind of know where to draw the line. Okay, you're going to get an incomplete here. If you wait until you've failed a bunch of assignments, you're kind of stuck with those, because again, the work that you've done already counts as when you do the incomplete. You can't just walk away from it. So let me know if something's going on and you think you're going to have an issue. Let's talk, and we can kind of figure out what's the best way to move forward. At the end of the semester, I can't give incompletes at the end of the semester. It's too late because you've already finished everything. Okay, that's university policy. Finally, I can't believe I have to say this, but I will not Zoom with you when you're driving. If you're driving, I will not Zoom with you. I've had students on their cell phone. Can you see my son? On their cell phone while they're driving, wanting to do office hours. No, I will hang up on you. I can't believe I have to say that. I will hang up on you. Okay, so that's the syllabus. Look at the schedule. Things may change. We saw that last spring, right? And everything's up for grabs. Here's the schedule. The schedule may change. Here's where you kind of notice, look, there's like plenty of time between correlation, simple regression review, and when that assignment's due. Core multiple regression concepts are way back here, and the assignment's due down here. So I've got that lag. It always makes me a little nervous because what I want you to do is finish assignment 1 up here, finish assignment 2 here. Don't wait till the last minute. I wrestle with this. But I like the idea that I give you plenty of time to do the redo. I want to give you time to do the redo and master it and learn. And anyway, so if you have questions, email me, let me know. Come to office hours, Thursdays, 5 to 7 on Zoom. I will send all that information out once we start. Okay? Take care. Bye-bye.